I'm here today with Joe Valley. So, one of the places I like to start is for our audience to get to know who you are and what you're up to. So, can you tell us kind of how did you get started from whatever avenue you came up through the ranks here, buying and selling your own businesses up until writing the book in it? And now it sounds like you're a founder of a successful brokerage.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur first and foremost. I've been fully self-employed since 1997, but started, you know, dabbling in that all the way back to my childhood, and even through college, I started a restaurant delivery business called The Wrong Number. I was imbibing in something when I created the name wrong. Let me just put it that way. I tell my kids I was an original Door Dasher. That company survived 6 months, and then I went to work for another company that eventually was bought by Grubhub. So I know it's not DoorDash, but a Grubhubber sounds so much worse than DoorDasher. But in my adult life, I became fully self-employed, 100% self-employed in 1997, and I resigned from my previous company called Talk America, that was a direct response marketing company, probably just before I would have gotten fired, to be honest with you. But that's the life of an entrepreneur, right? You can only get so far before you speak up too much and have other ideas, and the boss wants to kick you out the door.
I make a horrible employee.
I was interviewed the other day by somebody who was a career waitress and turned entrepreneur, and I'm like, good for you, man. That's a hard job. I got fired from every waiting job I ever had, sometimes intentionally though. But I became fully self-employed in 1997. My goal was to make $50,000 in 1998 because I'd made about that much in 97, and I 10 times that goal and thought full-time entrepreneurship's pretty damn good. Now, when I started that company called JVI Media Buying Agency, I worked full time in another job that I took at a call center while running my media buying agency full time as well. So I was working, 80 to 100 hours a week until I could just focus on the business. Um, that led to the first product launch in 1998, where I owned a brand essentially, and I did it on radio and eventually television. And yes, I had a website that I built for $50, but it wasn't really a website business. It wasn't a web-based business. We just had trickle sales on it. That ran its course, as many direct response marketing products do back in the day, radio and television. And then I launched another one in 2002. And that one I took 100% online in 2005. I did radio, I did television, but I took it 100% online in 2005. Got rid of all the pain points in my life because I'd promoted myself to my level of incompetence, and that's managing lots of people. I let them all go except for one person, and brought my office into my home and had that person come to my home every day. And I built that online business up from 2005 through the best of and the worst of the economy. Came out the other end in 2010.
Tell us about what's in the book. So, those of you out there who are thinking about exiting, you have a software company or an online business. Uh, what's the value point inside of the book that'll help them, prepare for a better exit?
It's everything you need to know to understand what brings value, what plummets value, how valuations are done, what buyers want. There's the 4 pillars of value in there that are not, it's not math and logic. It's all, things that will sway your multiple high or low in a multiple range. It's all the bits and pieces of water cooler talk corrected into accurate information, all the little different websites and blogs that you need to go to and people that you talk to that exited their businesses. It's all in one place. It's corrected and it's accurate, and it takes you through the entire process.
A lot of people don't understand what you're referring to, but an ad back schedule is all the stuff that you use. Some people call it in using the business as a lifestyle business or whatever, but it's all the things that you use that you know you use on to fund your personal, like your everything from I've seen car leases, I've seen cell phone coverages, I've seen somebody had all these Netflix accounts and everything else on there, the little
Yeah.
things, but there's some bigger stuff that's in there too.
And the true
Right.
definition of an ad back is a one-time expense or an owner benefit. Well, let's
Right.
reverse that. An owner benefit or a one-time expense that does not carry forward to the new owner. Let me give you an example, a couple of dramatically different examples. Number one, if you own an e-commerce business with the majority being an FBA business, and you've been reached out to by an aggregator, and that aggregator says, in a very charming, likable, well-funded, incredibly passionate way that makes you love them. Hey, man, we love your business. We pay all cash, close in 30 days, avoid the broker fee. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Another extreme example would be I was at a 8-figure event for 8-figure sellers in October, sitting around a fire pit with one of the guys who's telling me he has a substantial offer in his business, $50 million. And I said, okay, well, did you, tell me about your P&L preparation and add backs and things of that nature. And
What's a key takeaway that you wish you'd have known when you were selling your companies?
the reality is that historically, as entrepreneurs, we've been told we should always have the end in mind. When we start our business, we should be planning our exit. And I find that for the first time entrepreneur slash exitpreneur, if that's the path they're going to go down, it's complete and utter bull. Because all you got to do is try to keep the wheels on the bus, man. Right? You're just trying to make sure there's enough cash flow to stay alive. But at some point, 6, 12 months, along that road, that's when you've got to reach out, read the book, reach out to an advisor that will give you a true and honest valuation with no hooks.
What are the key elements to um, induce confidence, in a buyer, that
Yeah. There's really 4 things that buyers have consistently looked at. There's sort of four categories, and keep asking questions over the last 15 years that we've been doing this, and it evolves around risk, growth, transferability, and documentation. If you don't have financials, you can't get out of the starting gate with a valuation. So just knock it off, grow up, hire an e-commerce bookkeeper, outsource it. It's less than a car lease. They'll do the P&Ls, they'll do everything for you. And then once a month, you can analyze it and improve the key metrics of your business, the financial key metrics. So documentation is pretty critical. Growth, number 2, really important that you're selling the business when it's growing, because if it's been growing and then it flattens and then declines just for a couple of months compared to the same time last year, buyer's going to go, oh, I'm going to project this out 12 months and your 4-time multiple is going to really be, a 6-time multiple because the trends are down. When you get into growth, buyers love built-in paths to growth, right? So you're buying a business from me, Ron. I have 16 SKUs, but I launched 7 of them in the last 12 months. And, they're not fully 12 months old. Some are 1, some are 3, some are 6, and they're already generating 30% of the total revenue. That's awesome. You love that because it's a built-in path to growth. Those are just going to grow and mature, and all you have to do is let that happen.
if I were to look at something that had a few SKUs, maybe a dozen SKUs or something, I want to see that they're really dominate Amazon because that's the big gorilla in the jungle, right? But I'd also want to see that they understood well and could run well on, say, Spotify, or I don't know if eBay's even a player anymore. I'm kind of dating myself, or one of the other channels. But they have other channels. If something changed, they wouldn't die. They could actually shift and still push more market into one of the other channels and still sell stuff. Is that an irrational concern, or what would you say on that?
I think that there are risk in some categories, right? So these aggregators, for the most part, they won't buy electronic devices with big fear of obsolescence. They probably won't buy clothing businesses because the vast amount of inventory that you have to have, shoes and things of that nature. They stay away from certain categories. They're not buying affiliate businesses because they see that just like that, you can go from 10% to 4%. I had a business under LOI when that happened. Actually, I was just listing it when it happened. And we had to go back into the add back schedule and make an adjustment for that change going all the way back. It's just the reality of it. The business was worth less. Look, we all make mistakes. That's the life of an entrepreneur. I said I took 2011 off, which I did. But what I was doing in that time was trying to find a business to buy. And I bought one. And I think I closed March 1st, 2012. And I had 42 glorious days. 42 glorious days. And then the Penguin update hit. And the 6, rankings, 6 listings on page 1 went to page 2, 3, and 4. And I lost, over $250,000. Talk about a punch in the stomach, right?